Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Dreamers Game 1, where we are playing Yomi. This is turn 48. Let's jump into things. Okay, so off the top, we've got no research or thrones or anything like that. We've just got some site searches. So we've got an Auspex that found nothing, Arcane Probing that found nothing, a second Arcane Probing that found nothing, and a Haruspex that found nothing. So unfortunate. Really need to find something with Auspex, because our air income is just abysmal, right? It's laughably bad, right? And then finding more stuff for astral and for nature would just be nice, right? Not necessary, but would be nice, you know. So we've got a couple of battles that we want to go through, but we've got potentially one really big battle in Limistan. So we will save that for last because, yeah. Anyways, we attacked in Ostin. This is Tokomochi's force. And Tokomochi is going to go up against just some slingers and heavy infantry. So this shouldn't be too big of a deal. The heavy infantry is somewhat, skilled. If there were more of them, it might be a thing. But because we have, our spirit form, even if we get popped, we don't lose anything. So very nice there. We win in Ostin. We get attacked in Cormark. So countered over here. And this is, we had just left, from Tokomochi's army actually, we had just left a single Ko-Oni on this fortification just to be an annoyance. So he knocks him off. We get to witness a battle in Wesh where Ubar attacks some independents. And again, I think we had done this last time. Aha! So we had gotten to see Ubar had attacked this province with just a scout last time. And the scout had just died, right? And I was very much like, weird, what's going on there, right? But this is the obvious response. Ubar has some assassins that he's using, which I think Ubar naturally gets. We can check, right? We can check and see if Ubar actually naturally gets some assassins, but whether they do or not, we know that Ubar is actively employing them, which is cool. There is a battle in Menace as this undead army with a couple Amis is moving in. And this army is, again, we've talked about this on the previous episode. This is a dangerous army if it makes it to the Rephite army. Be some bad stuff. Got Legions of Steel coming out. What's he up against? Just nothing. So we know that's gonna win. Although he actually does lose 5 long dead in this battle. Very interesting. We raid in Belfields. Is this Kotaro? So this is Kotaro attacking in Belfields. Bunch of Inkidus here, so not very difficult for us to deal with. Fire shield. Yeah, easy peasy. Wop. Another solid victory for Kotaro in Belfields. We have the battle in Flimistan, so let's check Tapanete first. So we sent this Dione kitted out against the villains of Tapanete. Blessing, Iron Skin, Temper Flesh, Summon Earth Power, and Fire Shield. sits at 50 fatigue. Actually not... Yeah, no, actually very reinvigoration or fatigue neutral because we have the Girdle of Might. So, we'll pop. Comes down in. Easy peasy. Actually did just get smacked in the face for like 16 damage. That's surprising. Must have been this guy with the axe, maybe? Funny. We win in Tapenete. Alright, here we go. Here's the big one. Fuck yeah, Flemistan. Okay, we were correct. We guessed correctly where Hinnom would be going. There is the big line of Rephite warriors. There's Zakai, the Melkart here. He's got, I don't know, wherever the fuck his... Is it this guy? Yeah, he's got Uzia, his prophet here. And he's got a couple of little casters, a couple of Achas, and a Ketasat or two. And then we've got the hordes, right? The demonic hordes. And there's not a lot of crazy spells to use. It's literally just gonna be a bunch of whacking people with big swords and whacking people with big sticks. So let's see how this goes. I do want to point out that I think in Llama he was able to refill his gems, or he was able to pick some up on Scout or something like that. I think it was that there. I can't remember if there is a lab in Llama or not. But either way, let's see how this goes. So, all of our shit just runs forward. He does have a bunch of his own swarm casts. We have, I think, more swarm casters, so we're probably going to be able to deal with that more specifically. The wolves come out. They're just going to... The wolves are actually kind of interesting in this type of scenario, because you can see they break up his line pretty heavily, right? So now he's got a bunch of a force in the center, and then a bunch of forces on the wings, but the rest of his kind of like lines are broken up and concave. And that's what happens with a lot of our other swarm casts as well. He's got a lot of swarm in the back. He's got some Rephites moving around, but they are getting caught up and now attacking things on the sides. And now we have Dione in the back. Dione in the back are going to slaughter everything that they come up against. Those Achas are dead. His prophet's going to be dead pretty quickly. We got more Diones potentially going up. And I want to talk... I'm gonna focus in and see, right, what we're looking at here. Because we can see just plop. Bunch of big swangs. Plop, 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 plop. Bunch of big swangs, right? Like, let's go over here and we'll look at the Ko-Oni versus, like, some people. Right? So the Ko-Oni, plop, 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 plop. There's just so many little hits coming from them. And, you know, they just... They do... Whenever they get hit... Right? They pop. Sure, absolutely. These Rephites can kill a Ko-Oni. They can kill any of my Oni in a single hit. Right? But they have to hit them twice. And in the time that they gotta hit someone twice, they are getting swung at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times, right? By things that hurt. And that's pretty much the matchup. It's just a really bad matchup, I think, for Hinnom, right? The only way I think Hinnom wins normally against this type of scenario is making use of the relatively low morale of the Ko-Onis and breaking them with, like, fear effects and things, right? Now we've got Diones back here ganging up on this Melkart. No idea if we'll actually be able to get him down. He is running. And now the whole force is running. But, I mean, as you can see, there's not much that got the chance to run. Most of it just got murdered by little demons with clubs. Honestly. Little demons with clubs and Diones flying around in the back. Oh, and some drained lives. Dude's over there sniping people with drained lives. That's funny. That was a resounding victory, right? We killed most of the things there. Now, I will say this: we did actually give them a chance to escape, because I kind of stupidly did not send someone to the province that they had previously been in. I didn't send someone to Llama. So that was absolutely a mistake, an oversight on my part. So they do have the chance of this Melkart and maybe some of these light infantries getting away. But all of their Rephites were killed there. All of them. And we lost so little. Like, even if these were very valuable units, right? 60 losses would absolutely be viable, right? That would be comparably fine. But these are free spawn units. They're not valuable at all. I guess the Shikomis aren't free spawn. They died, right? Like, they went berserk and they just, like, barely did anything. But whatever, right? Onis killed 70 units. Onis killed 42, only lost 4. 28, 3. Like, these are great, great, great numbers. And our Dionis did great as well. This is an incredibly resounding victory, and kind of what I was expecting, right? I think this is maybe even better than I was expecting, but it's just a really bad matchup. If the forces of Hinnom had more going for them, right? If they were combined with the forces in Menace, for example, these Long Dead and the Long Dead Rephites able to protect the flanks, a bunch, or protect the rear, right? A bunch of these Amis and Shamans able to do, like, Ethereal, although I guess Ethereal's not the... So Ethereal is bad, excepting that it's kind of like a flip side coin. So when you knock a demon into, or when you knock an Oni at least, I assume it's the same for most demons, but if you knock an Oni into Ethereal, or into its spirit form, it then gets magic attacks, right? So we do have options against Ethereal units. It's just worse, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So a bunch of Ethereal would be painful, or more likely what would be more painful from, like, a lot of the Amis is things like air elementals, right? Like, a bunch of air elementals would be really painful, or a bunch of, like, Soul Slay, right? Targeting my Dione. That would be painful. Being able to combine a force like this with the Flemistan force, I think would have been a big deal. But this was a small force to send at me. And maybe it was just a desperation thing, like a show of force or something like that, but I want to remind everyone that, like, I sought peace with Hinnom, like, 10 turns ago. Maybe a little longer at that point. It was... Now, they were in this scenario where they had just kind of, like, beaten Agartha back. So they hadn't just lost all of this territory to Lanka. So maybe at this point, right, it would have... obviously, at this point, it would have been a different thing. But I think maybe Hinnom felt strong after repelling Agartha. But they really weren't. And this is kind of the result of that situation. So we've defeated that army at Flemistan. And yeah. Our record for this turn is awesome. Doesn't matter. We have 3 wins and 2 losses versus Hinnom, and then 1 win versus Indies. But really, that 1 win versus Hinnom that we have is the culmination of, you know, dozens of raiding losses or wins either way, etc., etc. So this is the one that matters, right? This is absolutely the one that matters. With the destruction of this force, I do not think Hinnom is really going to be able to do much to keep us. They still have power, right? Their Melkarts are still strong. They're still going to have a lot of Achas and Amis and things like that in their 3 main forts, right? We're still going to have to go through the process of bleeding him out. But I think this is probably the breaking of Hinnom's power. So, yeah. Anyways, events. We've got some nature gems in Yomi. A young farmer stealing food from squirrels found some gems among the acorns. Very nice. We had some unnecessary laws be abolished in Iron Caverns, so we gained turmoil and unrest. That seems strange. I feel like if we were abolishing unnecessary laws, then order would be better and we'd lose unrest. This is weird. This feels like some unnecessary laws were established in Iron Caverns, right? Anyways, and then in Kotal Swamp, a handful of magic gems have been found in the swamp. So we got water +8 and nature +6 this turn, which is actually pretty nice. Like, that's a respectable amount of gems. So, cool. Cool. We found a scout from Helheim, and then we have a new famous hero in Tokomochi. Tokomochi has gained heroic battle prowess, so an increase in attack skill. Tokomochi's attack skill is +2. He's unerring with that damn Nodachi. So I now kind of have this thing where I really want... Tokomochi has done such a good job raiding around. If you'll remember, Tokomochi originally led the army at Jibero, down south into Sulfuria. And he went all the way around Hinnom's territories, basically. I kind of now want him to make it out of this alive. I had assumed that he would get caught and killed eventually, but he's done so well getting out of all of this stuff, just like raiding around and being a terror in Hinnom's lands. I love that he is now in the Hall of Fame, and I kind of want to focus on getting him out alive, right? So that's gonna be like a little mini game, a little side quest as we continue to play. So fingers crossed, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so what are we doing this turn? We've got a flurry of activity, we got movement all over the place, but again, most of this movement is moving people to and from sites to shift Oni around, consolidate. We had kind of like a downturn of that because we had to consolidate all of our Oni to fight this army from Hinnom. Now we're kind of going back to the scenario of, okay, we've got our Oni pits. We want to start moving Oni back and forth to those locations. We want to get some more site searching going, etc., etc. So we are going to try to take out the forces at Lama. There is a Melkart there. We are sending in just a bunch of Co-Onis. This is somewhat optimistic, so that might not go well. We are also, though, attacking into Moliton, just on the assumption that maybe he tries to escape with this Melkart there. So we've got some, like a Dione hit squad that's kind of going to try to cut him off, that type of thing. We're sending Aterui, our prophet, over towards Pestena to try to claim the Golden Throne, but that's not going to be able to happen in this turn. And then other than that, most of the rest of what we're doing is we're just marching the army north to Tapanete, right? So the big army is just going to head north, continue onwards towards Tapanete, towards Jibero as our first target, going from there. So everything else, we are just sneaking around, attacking. Kataro going into Eagle Reach. We're going to attack into Earth Soar, blah, 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 do some stuff here or there. What do we have? We've got no buildings this turn. We've got very low income this turn. We can't afford to really recruit very much at all. So there's that. We are trying to patrol things down as best we can. But we've only got so much that we can do. Satoshi is going to take... oh. Well, that's not what I don't remember that. I might have changed this. This might not actually... I don't remember this being the thing that we actually did, but maybe this is what we do. We've got a lot of... I thought that I had sent Satoshi with his forces to try to help patrol in Yomi, but maybe that's not what we did. Anyways, we've got a lot of rituals this turn. We've got... and they're all spread out. So we've got 2 Voices of Apsu. We've got an Auspex, we've got 1 Arcane Probing, we've got 2 Dark Knowledge, we've got 2 Horospecs, and we still have a Reanimation. So, again, trying to give a concerted focus to finishing up site searching in our provinces. We're close to being done with Dark Knowledge, so we only actually need a couple of Dark Knowledges here or there. Mostly over here in the Pastena Golan Fens situation, so we've got that going on. Hopefully we'll get lucky there. Otherwise, is what it is. So let me jot that down before I forget about it. And then we have very, very little forging going on. 2 Lightless Lanterns, and that's it this turn. So the Lightless Lantern production continues, but most of the rest of my... So I made a specific scenario. We've got so many forces moving from Flemistan towards the Hinnom border that I'm somewhat concerned, right? Like, there's a lot of individuals, so... I'm trying to make sure that we hit research goals at the same time. So I'm trying to not spend too many other turns from mages forging gear. I really want to keep forging gear. I need more gear, very specifically. But unfortunately, we're kind of in a weird situation where I feel like I can't spend too much time on that type of stuff. So at the very least, we are going to continue doing Lightless Lanterns to continue to boost our research. We won't have Alteration 6 next turn, but we will have it the turn immediately after that. I'm not sure 100% where we're going to go. I do kind of think that we want some blood. I'm very interested in potentially rushing up to Blood 7 and trying to aim for Curse of Blood. But that's going to be kind of like an awkward situation. We'd have to boost a whole bunch, so I don't know that we're going to do that yet. Instead, in the meantime, what we might do is we might head up Conjuration and go for something like Well of Misery, because I think that's well within our grasp and would be pretty good for us. So, still trying to figure out exactly what that is, exactly what that looks like, and we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I think that's probably gonna be it for the turn. Oh, yeah, no. Trying to think of if there's anything. Nothing has really changed terribly much, right? Like, we didn't really talk about this last turn because the turn was so long, but Lanka's continuing to raid the Hinnom lands, right? Or Agartha's lands. And has that pretty well in control, and I don't think Hinnom's gonna be able to challenge that now. Basically, I think Lanka's gonna just set on their line, and then we're gonna march in and have to finish Hinnom, which is great, right? But whatever. Helheim and Ubar continue to battle it back and forth. Ubar had a really bad fight in Wesh, but they've been able to bounce back, primarily because I think Lanka has been fighting against Helheim, and I think Ermor has been fighting against Helheim. So Helheim is, I think, maybe slowly losing, maybe not. Maybe slowly winning, not sure. I'm not sure how engaged Lanka and Ermor are. I just know that Ubar had a big defeat. It was really scared for a second, but is doing their best to push Helheim back, or to resist Helheim. That's pretty much it as far as like developments go. Not a whole lot else is happening. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the turn. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.